Welcome to MMA Therapy, your fix for all things MMA. I'm your host, James Mon. We got a great show for you tonight. We're going to be doing an interview with Adam Primetime Townsend. He's got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got coverage of Trotter's Legacy and this weekend's Ultimate Fight Night, as well as much, much more. So let's get this fix started with this interview from Adam Primetime Townsend. This is James Mon with MMA Therapy. Our next guest will be fighting live this weekend at V3 Fights. It's Mr. Adam Primetime Townsend. Adam, welcome to the show, bud.
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing great. Now it's fight week, buddy. Are you getting a little crazy or angry about weight cut yet, or how's things going?
I guess you've not heard the bad news, but the fight's been canceled between me and Denver.
Ah, so your opponent is out, or what's the deal with that?
He got beat by Justin Fisher, back a couple weeks ago, and he got a 45-day medical suspension from, losing that fight with Justin Fisher. They tried to find me a couple of other opponents, and just things didn't work out like they wanted to. So after that, they kind of said, we're going to put you on the next card and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're just getting moved to the next card then?
Yeah, next fight I'll probably be fighting Tim Lloyd again, unless been in the talks with Legacy and also RFA more than anybody. So hopefully I might be on one of their cards. If not, I'm going to fight probably the 11th card in Knoxville for a Valor fight with Tim Lloyd.
Okay, well that's cool. We still have plenty to talk about. One of the things I wanted to talk about with you is you've been very vocal on your Twitter lately. You've been tweeting Dana White. You've been tweeting Lorenzo Fertitta. You've been giving the call saying Adam Primetime Townsend is ready to make his UFC debut. Have you got any response from anything like that, or do you think it's helping your case?
Yeah, I talked to Sean Shelby, and I've also talked to Joe Silva as well. Dana White and Lorenzo ain't getting no feedback yet, but I'm just going to continue to keep hitting them up and stuff. I mean, I see these dudes on UFC all the time that are fighting on TV with records that are way worse. That I have a lot better records than, and I know that I'm better than. And it's just the fact that they're training in Team Alpha Male, or they're training American Top Team and things like that. That's the whole reason that they're getting these calls and I'm not. It's harder for somebody like me that don't have a lot of connections in Tennessee. These dudes, got all kinds of teammates that are in the UFC and good coaches that are in the UFC. I think that's a different maker. It's like anything else in life, it's about who you know and
Well, have you thought maybe about doing the Ultimate Fighter show or anything like that?
They've not done an Ultimate Fighter show since I've been available to fight for Ultimate Fighter. I was 2-0 in the last one they had for my weight class. Had I have known that I could have, after watching the 185 season, I think that I could have beat some of the dudes that was in the 185 season. And I kind of wish I wouldn't try it out for that because, I fought as high as 170 as low as 45. But I really wish that I would have went ahead and done the Ultimate Fighter trial for 85. That are bigger than you,
Yeah, I mean, so some of the fighters who went on to fight in different weight classes has done really well on the Ultimate Fighter, so it might work out for you. What about Bellator? You think it could be a possible stepping stone to the UFC for you? Do you think Bellator could be a possible stepping stone toward the UFC for you?
I've kind of talked to Bellator. I've done the Bellator trials and stuff like that. And Sam Kaplan actually ended up being my manager for about a total of 2 weeks. And then I guess he took a lick on one of his shows he does of the Matrix or something, and he just told me he's quitting everything in MMA period. I've not heard from him since. So, I had to get connected to Sam Kaplan from Bellator, and then all that stuff happened with him, and he quit and everything. But I think really, my main goal, I want to go where the money's at. If Bellator was paying good money, I'd be fighting for them. If ONE FC or any organization that wants to pay me well, I'll fight for anybody. I don't care who I fight for as long as I'm getting paid well. I just think that like a debut on Bellator, that's like a $3 million. A debut in the UFC like a $16,000 payday. That's a big money thing. And that's the reason I'm having the UFC more because of money. And I think in the long run, the UFC's going to start paying better. I think after you get a couple fights now, you'll really start, over in St. Cruz, he probably made $500,000 last year and had a fight, a couple of moments like that. So, he's making some money over there.
Yeah, plus like you said, the bonuses, the fight bonuses, and submission bonuses really helps out a lot for that.
I mean, $20,000 is life changing, but you imagine going out and getting a good knockout or getting a 5-a-night bonus or something like that, and getting an extra $50,000 or $55,000 on top of that. That's like hitting the lottery.
I understand that. Well, let's fast forward to the future a little bit. Let's say you've had your long career in the UFC and it's time to retire from fighting. You're getting older. What do you see yourself doing then?
Man, I don't know. I kind of live like day by day. I don't really plan too much stuff. I've talked about it and thought about it before, but more or less it's the fact that I was. I'll go. What I would like to happen was be able to, go have a good career in the UFC, fight for 5 or 6 more years possibly, maybe have my body built up, and then after that, open my own gym, have a good fight team and stuff like that. I don't really want to open a gym or create a good gym or a striking gym, multi gym, whatever. I'm well rounded with everything, so I think that I could open up a people I know that can be fighters that have opportunities, but they really don't have I don't know, they just don't have the coaching or don't want to go where they should to have a good career. So that's kind of what I'd like to do, try to do stuff like that, open up a good gym that allows the gateway to, like have like a American top team coach in the Tri-Cities instead of having to go all the way to Atlanta or coaching that city, California to a good team.
I understand that ideal, man. And then the people will be getting a call from the gyms in Tennessee to the UFC, and people will be complaining about that. Well, man, I appreciate the interview. This is where I'll let you give your shout-outs to your teammates and training partners and sponsors.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Adam Jones MMA. You can go to my website, adamprimetimemma.com. Check out all my sponsors and everything. I don't like to shout out sponsors, so I always miss about 5 of them. But I appreciate all my, especially Justin Wildman, Kevin stuff, and Gates Johnson, I produce those good coaches. And all that supports me, or buy the ticket, t-shirt, anything like that from me. It helps pay my bills. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and we appreciate you coming on the show, and we look forward to seeing you fight again.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
That was Adam Primetime Townsend, one of this region's top local fighters. He's on the verge of getting the big call from the UFC any day now. Now let's switch to our next fix with some local coverage from fights of Trotter's Legacy. Saturday, February 7th, Trotter's Legacy took over Dale's Hot Dog Stand in Richmond, Kentucky. With 9 total fights and 3 youth grappling matches, it was made for an exciting night. There were 8 amateur fights, including 5 championship fights. Then for the main event, we had an excellent pro fight that showcased some sick submission skills from Adam Fritz. All in all, it was a great night in Richmond for Trotter's Legacy, and we hope there will be another event there soon. Fight results. Fight number 1, Kevin Alexander versus Brandon Slusher. Winner, Kevin Alexander via TKO due to strikes in round number 1. Fight number 2, Casey McGuire versus Visa Kane. Winner, Visa Kane. Casey was unable to answer the bell for round number 3. Fight number 3, Matt Matlock versus Tyler Black. Winner, Tyler Black via TKO, round number 1. Fight number 4, it's a 125-pound title fight. We had Thomas Agriu versus Brandon Campbell. Winner, Brandon Campbell, submission, triangle choke. Fight number 5, 170-pound title fight. We had Andre Rodriguez versus Brian McDowell. Winner, Brian McDowell, submission, guillotine choke, round number 1. Fight number 6 brought us the super heavyweight title fight. Kyle Gully versus Cody Miskell. Cody Miskell took this one home, TKO due to strikes, round number 1. Fight number 7, 145-pound title fight. Stephen Francis versus Dustin Short. Dustin Short decides to keep his title. Winner decision, 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28. Fight number 8, 155 title fight. John Caney versus Jordan Robinson. Jordan Robinson TKO due to strikes, round number 1. Then fight number 9, the pro fight and the main event. Darnell Pettis versus Adam Fritz. Winner, Adam Fritz via triangle choke. MMA Therapy Awards. Fight of the night was Stephen Francis versus Dustin Short. TKO of the night was Tyler Black. And submission of the night was Adam Fritz triangle choke. That was our coverage from Trotter's Legacy in Richmond, Kentucky. Now let's move on to the big show, the UFC Ultimate Fight Night from this weekend. This weekend we had another great Ultimate Fight Night from the UFC. We kicked off the preliminary action where James Munasari defeated Cody Pfister submission rear naked choke at 149 or round number 2. Fight number 2, we had Zach Malkowski who defeated Tim Elliott, unanimous decision. Fight number 3, we had Chaz Kelly who defeated Jim Ehlers, TKO 459 or round number 2. Little bit of controversy, throwing a knee to a ground opponent, but the referee was already stepping in to stop the action, so the fight did end that way. Escudero defeated Rodrigo de Lima, unanimous decision in the main preliminary card. Then we moved on to the main card, where Ray Borg defeated Chris Calades, submission, Kimura at 256 in round number 3. Kevin Lee defeats Michael Perez, unanimous decision. Dan Kelly defeats Patrick Walsh, unanimous decision. Neil Magny defeats Kichi Komodo, submission, rear naked choke, 122 of round number 3. Our co-main event, Max Holloway defeats Cole Miller, unanimous decision. Then in our main event, Mr. Toothpick himself, Benson Henderson, goes to get the big win after moving up a weight class. He defeats Brandon Thatch by rear naked choke at 358 in round number 4. A lot of great action and a lot to talk about in the cup in coming weeks for this fights. So we will catch you then. That was our coverage from the UFC Ultimate Fight Night. A lot of stuff going on in the UFC, causing a lot of stir and a lot of things going on. I'd like to get some viewer feedback on. You know, we've got the drug problems going on. We've had John Jones caught doing coke. You know, Brandon Schwab, he's recovering from Oxycontin. Then we got all the PED problems. And, you know, the UFC had a big press conference today, and they're really going to step up their drug procedures and stuff like that. You know, they're trying to maximize the penalties. You could get up to 2 years if you're caught, you know, doing PEDs. So, you know, they're really trying to step it up. But I'd like some viewer feedback on that. You know, also, I'd like some viewer feedback on Benson Henderson fighting with a toothpick in his mouth. I mean, what do you guys think about it? The dangers, the risks? I'd like to know. So, you know, message us on Facebook or Twitter. You know, just leave a message on the page or whatever you want to do. I just like to know. But that about wraps up this episode of MMA Therapy. This is James Mon, your host for MMA Therapy, your fix for all things MMA, and I'll see you at the fights.